Hello there, Heather Price from Shamanic Path and Practice here. Welcome to my Sunday Sunset Lives. And yeah, it's been a while. I've been away for quite a few weeks now on holiday, having a lovely, well-earned rest. I usually go away about this time each year for a week or two. And this time I travelled to Aotearoa, to New Zealand, overseas. And it was just so beautiful over there. The weather was just superb. We were entering into springtime here in the Southern Hemisphere, and it's always a little bit cooler over there. But we still had sunny days. I was able to go to the beach, and it was a gentle holiday, as in I didn't rush. I didn't have a lot of plans. I'd made my mind up that I was there to rest and restore, and I did. And it was wonderful. So today I'd like to talk to you about gentleness as a strength. And I know it sounds a little bit like a contradiction, but I know you will understand what I mean by that. That at this time in the world, what do we do with all this information that's constantly contradicting in its presentation? You know, we hear one story that contradicts the other story about the truth of what's happening around us. It's difficult to know what is true. It's difficult to discern. And sometimes when we read something, it can stir anger, it can stir frustration, it can stir doubt, it can stir fear. And what I've discovered in my lifetime, that when something stirs in me, that it can actually harm me more often than not. And there have been two examples of that in my life years ago, when I had given my power away to someone close to me, and that person took advantage of that. Not for the first time. I'd done that many times, and this time I know I got very angry, and I ended up with a melanoma soon after that on my arm, and I had to have it removed in a very deep gash, but it's a scar. It's on the left-hand side, and it's just a constant reminder to me to not allow myself to become that angry, and not to allow myself to have that kind of fiery response, because it's going to harm me in some way. That there's always a more gentle approach. It doesn't have to be a weakness, but the way I respond rather than react to something that comes at me, an arrow. Another time I was far too generous in trusting somebody and gave them a helping hand that was much more than I could really afford to, and with the promise it would be returned, and it wasn't ever repaid. And that made me angry, because there was betrayal in that. And again, very soon afterwards, I manifested another melanoma, this time in my right thigh, and this was a masculine exchange. The first was feminine exchange, the second was a masculine exchange. And I was able to tell, that this is real anger here in my thigh. And I felt very disarmed and powerless with the first incident. But what I have discovered over many years of inner work around those particular incidents, and more recently some stirrings in my body, that I had to really look at to see how I can manage that more gently. How I can manage when I get upset, when I feel the grief and the disappointment, the betrayal, the shame, lack of control, when I feel rejected, or any of those things. How I can manage that from a more gentle place. And it has led me to think more deeply about the meaning of gentleness, what it actually means. And I did a little bit of research, and I think the one that sort of sticks with me is that gentleness is power under control. And that can often be found from what I've researched in biblical references. And so that sits really well for me, because I can think of, how we can control our power through gentleness. And I think the idea of power being under control would perhaps be a stallion that is such a powerful creature, or that is actually tamed. And so how we can learn to tame our power. So gentleness is power under control. I think that's quite lovely, because it is a form of power, gentleness. When you have a really sort of steady pause for a moment, think about it for a moment, breathe into it, allow it to sit with you gently rather than impact you like a stab in the back or stab in the heart. I'm still learning, honestly, still learning to control this, but I do know that where the greatest damage has come from me personally, and I think comes for all of us, is learning to be gentle when we feel like we've let ourselves down because we haven't responded the way we think we could have responded, more consciously, more graciously. Yeah, so I did look up the Greek word for gentleness as well, and it's if I can get the pronunciation correct, it's proautos, and it means power. You know, it's very related to power. And so the power of being gentle with yourself when you feel like I've let myself down, or I've let somebody else down, you know, I think that's really important. There is power in being gentle with others, and there is power in being gentle with yourself particularly. So your body relies on you. Your body relies on you to make the right choices, or else it will let you know you've not made the right choices. So if you have been out of sync with gentleness, if you have been not misusing your power, if your power is not under control, then your body will let you know. Something will happen to stop you in your tracks. So I really encourage you, when you get triggered by all these different things coming at you at the moment, if you're on social media, or even in just conversations, to be gentle with others when they have a difference of opinion, to be gentle with yourself when you have a difference of opinion, to be gentle with your body when it alerts you. You know, pull yourself up and be gentle in your response to how you're in pain or discomfort, or you're breaking out in something. Be gentle with the processing of that. Be gentle with your loved ones, even when you know you're in the right. See if you can really raise yourself to that highest vibration, because you remember that otherwise you're creating all this toxic energy, or loosh, I think they call it these days. It's like when you're creating this toxic energy to be out in the universe, to be fed off, you know, feeding, I guess, the darker forces of power. So it's really important right now for us to control our responses, to have power through our control, through gentleness. Okay, so that's probably enough. I wanted to introduce that topic because I've been thinking about it all day, thinking this is what I'm going to talk about. But now I'm just going to look back at the cards and see what they tell me to support me or otherwise. See what they've got to say about gentleness as a strength. So the one that wants to be seen is union. Okay, so we'll look at that in a moment. So that's the focus. And the next one is generosity. So that is the action that we take around having a gentle power. And fulfillment is the gift. And the last one is abundance. So let me see if I can work through those words. So these are my daily co-creation cards. I always turn to them. I'm trying to work out a puzzle of some sort. Yeah, so union. So when you're not gentle, you can be sure that you're in separation, that you're not in union with your high self. You're not in union with the high vibration of the universe. The universe is vibration, so union, universe. How would the universe want me to respond to this? How would the universe want me to walk at this time with this matter? So when you look at something and it upsets you, or when you are having conversation and it upsets you, see if you can come back into a place of unity with the person that you're talking to, or with the subject, or with the universe. Find your strength in knowing that you're not alone in the way you're thinking and perceiving something. But sometimes it's very different to how another person's thinking and perceiving something. So come back in union with your integrity, with your gentleness. Come back in unity with your heart, in union with your heart. And that really is a form of generosity. You know, you're being really generous when you can do that. I mean, sometimes I can have a reaction inside of me that's just like, I want to just wipe this conversation out and take back my power in a conversation, and I know I can win the argument. But it is incredibly generous to be compassionate, to step into somebody else's shoes for a moment and see that there are many different opinions, many different perceptions. So be generous in how you react or how you consciously respond to others. Be generous with your love, with your compassion. You will always feel fulfilled when you walk in this way, and abundance will naturally flow to you. Yeah, I believe that to be true. I really do believe that to be true. Because when we're feeling more gentle, when we're feeling more loving and understanding of a situation, we can afford to be generous. Because we understand how energy works. We understand that we're giving away our power when we have these huge reactions. So taking our power back through being gentle in our response to ourselves and to others. I hope that's helpful. So I'm going to take you on the drum journey now. I want you to think about, with you coming here now with me, I can see there's a couple of lovely people out there. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, and the others who come later, which often happens in these Facebook Lives. What I'd love you to do, for those of you who decide to stay on here and listen a bit further, is to think about something in your life where you feel you could be more gentle, where you feel you've been a bit harsh in your judgment of others or yourself or the world's situation. And knowing the power of gentleness, knowing that it means that, you know, the power that's under control. Gentleness is power that is in your control. Knowing how much you can contribute when you come from that place. I want you to think about that during the journey and see what shows up. So just for a moment now, take a breath. And let that breath come into your heart space. Connect your heart with the heart of Mother Earth. It's always a good way to start. You may like to keep your eyes open or close your eyes. Just come into presence with what I'm saying. Let your breath bring you to presence. To pausing for a moment. Switching. You're going to move from the world around you to the world within you. And if you can't think of something that you are stirred by or triggered by at the moment, you might see it during the drum journey. And you may not see anything. It might come to you later. Often the wisdom comes when it's all done and dusted. I was thinking that today. That truth is revealed when we're through something often. Often it is blurred in the middle of it. Right now there's a lot of mistruths going around. So in this drum journey, the truth lies deep within you, or it might come later. Take that matter, whatever that matter is, into your heart that you wish to take on the journey with you. Just breathe it in. You could put it inside a beautiful globe, a ball of lovely light. Maybe it's your disappointment in someone or a situation. Maybe it's your fear of something that's about to happen, or you don't know what's going to happen and you're in fear. Maybe it's self-doubt or doubt in another. Where you would prefer to use a gentle approach, where you would prefer to understand the wisdom and the power of a gentle approach to this situation. So keep that in mind and heart, as the drum will take you on a journey to somewhere in nature, and I will guide you. And while you're in there, you may see something, you may hear something, you may sense something, or simply know something to be true to help you with the situation. The drum will take you there. The sound will take you there. The intention will take you there. Imagine yourself relaxed and ready to go on a journey. drum awakens the eastern energies, the element of fire. It awakens the northern energies, the energy of earth. The western energies, the energy of water. And the southern energies, the energy and the element of air. And bringing these together in the center, you find yourself walking down a corridor of time and space. And you come to a wooden door with a handle that you have designed yourself, you have created. And you know as you open this door and you enter now, you are on a discovery of the power of gentleness. Close the door behind you. Walking down a pathway now, you feel the earth damp under your feet. There is a large body of water on your left. There is a light in the distance ahead. An animal spirit guide comes to meet you, either from the air or walking towards you, or it could be a mystical creature. Someone to guide you on the journey to discover the power of gentleness, the strength of gentleness in this situation. It could be very cryptic, metaphoric. Let go of control. The control that you have is your intention right now. To discover, to see, to imagine, to allow some sign, a message, a word, a symbol to come to you that you can look at later, contemplate and allow to discover the wisdom. And you might discover it in the moment of seeing or feeling it or sensing it. Walk towards the light. Allow your animal spirit guide to take you on a journey with the drum. It could be a journey out to the cosmos or up a mountain and out to the cosmos. It could be a journey into the large body of water on your left. It could be a journey into a great valley of wisdom. You might find it by a stream or a creek or under a beautiful crystal somewhere hidden deep in the earth's heart. Only you know where you are journeying now with the drum. Follow the path, follow the light, follow your animal spirit guide, and I'll see you on the other side very soon. Finding your way to a landscape or a seascape, or out to the cosmic realms. There is a message, a song waiting for you. something to remind you of your wonderful soul song of gentleness, how you can be more gentle, how gentleness can serve you right now through your thinking about something, through the lens that you look at situations through your beautiful heart, a heart of compassion and kindness and love. Gentleness is power in control. Think about that as you come back gently to the place where you began the journey, to where you were standing with that body of water. Now on your right, as you walk back towards that wooden door, gently open and turn the handle, move through the door, bringing back the wisdom, bringing back the insight, the messages, and they may come later. Be gentle with your response to the journey. Take gentle steps back down the corridor of time and space, back into this space, into this time, into this place, and just gently tap yourself on the heart. Hold your face for a moment. Tap your shoulders for a moment. Gently come back into your body. Big deep breath in and hold it for a moment, and then breathe out slowly. Gentleness is a form of power, power that is under control, in your control. I hope you've enjoyed the journey. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Please reach out to me if you need any guidance. There's some specials happening at the moment. If you go looking at my website, www.shamanicpathandpractice.com, and I have a blog on there that has some of these talks that I give are on there and other things. If you subscribe, I have a newsletter that goes out twice a month on topics and often relating to the moon. I also have a Moon Musings Wisdom free page for you on my website. The newsletter is free as well. If you go to my website, on that front page, you'll find everything you need to know, and then you can go into different places. Yeah, so thanks very much. I came back feeling a lot more energized, more focused, more grounded from my time away. I really encourage everyone to have, and you, to have time away in nature whenever you can during these times. Make more time for looking after yourself rather than giving and serving, even though we're all here to shine. I haven't mentioned the equinox, haven't mentioned that we've just gone through a new moon, but I have in other spaces, in other places. This is dedicated to you and your journey, so you can find out more on my Facebook page or my website, and I'll leave it at that. Thanks for joining me. Please leave your comments here. I always get back to you, and reach out through the comments or through my messenger page, message page, and just let me know what you'd like to know. Happy to answer your questions and to respond to your response. Go well, be gentle with yourself, and happy new moon in Aries. We're entering into Aries, and it was actually new moon in Pisces, but it has moved since into Aries, and the sun's in Aries now. So enjoy this new cycle of spring or autumn, wherever you are in the world, with the equinox and the equaling out of the time now, light and dark. Be gentle with yourself through this change that we're going through, and know that you are loved, especially loved by me. Take good care.